What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is The Passage, Season 1, Episode 1 and 2. The Passage is this new show that's on Fox. If you haven't checked it out, the reason why it interested me because it got a cute little black girl as the lead, and it has everybody's favorite teenage heartthrob, Zach from Saved by the Bell. I forgot what the man's name is in real life. So it interested, caught my eye, and then I saw my uncle, James Caldwell, do a video on it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna check this show out and maybe I'll review it too. So I decided to go ahead and review it. I watched the first 2 shows and I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of the first episode. If you're not familiar with the show, it comes on Monday nights on Fox, I think at 8 Central Time. So the show is basically about the end of the world. Apparently there's some books that have been written that this story is adapted from. Everything is not the same, but it's a tale of the apocalypse, pretty much the end of the world and how one little girl saved the end of the world. The author says that at its core, it's a father-daughter relationship. You know, it's a story about a father, a pseudo-father, right, and daughter. So we start the story in the past. There's 2 scientists, one, his name is Jonas, the other one name is like Dr. Fanning. And so they go into some cave into Bolivia, they find a creature that's like vampire-like, and the creature bites Dr. Fanning, and Dr. Fanning is infected, whatever, you know, virus, you know what I'm saying, it happens. Then we flash forward 3 years in the future. Now Dr. Jonas is working with a team of scientists and they're trying to figure out how to create this vaccine that's basically going to give you immunity to all intravenous diseases like AIDS, HIV, things like that. They've come to the conclusion that whatever is in these people's blood or in these creatures' blood, it cures them from all the vaccines, but the person starts to deteriorate. First they feel really great, at first everything is good, but then they start to deteriorate. And so they're trying to figure out, you know, how to make this virus be prolonged to somebody without killing them. Okay, how to make the virus work. So one of the scientists puts together that they need to test it on a kid because all of the subjects that they have tested, by the way, they're all criminals and they still got the first bitten, okay, in a cage, in a glass cage. It starts to deteriorate them. So he realizes that the younger the person is, the less likely it will, you know, it won't cause them any type of detriment to their body, like they won't start to deteriorate like the other subjects have. And so they have all these serial killers in jail. Now we meet one serial killer in particular, or not serial killer, but he on death row. His name is Anthony. I got a feeling Anthony is innocent because he a black man and he look like he actually look like he a nice guy. Look like he ain't do it, okay? He ain't do it. But Anthony don't even want to go down there, okay? But they convince him that, you know, he'll get to be free and he'll get to do this, and he don't get to be free, child. I'm like, you don't do it. Okay, my whole thing was like, just stay in jail, don't do it. But he decides to go ahead and do it. So this facility is in Colorado. When we get to Colorado, we meet a black doctor. I don't know what her name is. We have Jonas is there. Like I said, they have decided that they're gonna get a child to test this on. Now they have to find a child that ain't nobody looking for, that nobody care about. Okay, so then we find ourselves meeting Amy Belafonte, who is a little girl. She is, her mom is a drug addict, apparently. She seems like a very smart little girl. She's sitting at a diner all day long, you know, reading a book, A Wrinkle in Time. And she sits there until the night hours, and the lady finally tell her to go home, or, you know, or you gonna be okay? Do your mama know you out here? She goes home to her mom's, and she sees that her mother has been found dead. My light flickering again, y'all. I might go, hold up.
So we find out.
And we find out that her mother is dead. So we see her that she's been put into the foster care system, and turns out she's the person. She's been put into the foster care system, and, you know, lo and behold, she's the perfect candidate for this type of experiment. They send 2 guys out to go get her. One of those guys is Zach, okay? His name is Brad on the show. And then another guy. And they go out to go find this girl and bring her back to the facility. And, you know, the foster mother is trash. She just let the girl go. You go ahead and go with these men, and they take her on. She fight a little bit. She try to get away, but they catch her. As they're going along through their journey, they stop at the carnival. You can see that Brad kind of has a soft heart towards the girl. We find out he got an ex-wife. He called his ex-wife. Something happens where, you putting together that, you know, they had a daughter that passed away, and you know, he got a little soft spot for the little girl. And so the other guy is kind of rough with her. Like, he hit her at first, and you know, Brad choked him up like, don't you ever, okay, in your rabbit ass life ever putting your hands on this little girl. So we can see that he got a little soft heart or whatever. So they end up going to a carnival, and old boy is like, I'm ready to go. And Brad just makes a decision that he's going to protect this little girl. So he kills the dude, leave him in the bathroom at the carnival, and him and the girl just take off. He don't know where they going, they just going. Stop at a gas station, and he like, I'm just gonna turn myself in, I'm just gonna turn us in, you know. And she's like, no, you know, what are you doing? He gets out the car to go turn himself in, and they turn themselves in. He goes to the police station to file a report, and when they go to file the report, I guess, you know, the government had called and was like, hey, don't you leave them there, we gonna come pick them up. And so Brad like, we gotta get out of here. They get the keys, you know, they jump in the car, and now they off. They have a car chase. The car chases them, and they end up, he gets shot, I think, and they end up, you know, just running off together. So it kind of moved kind of fast for me in the first episode. But when I read the synopsis of the book, or, you know, basically what's going to happen, they gotta cover thousands of years in a span. So I think it's like 3 books. They got to cover spans of like 1,000 years. So they trying to speed through the whole point. We get the point established that these two gonna form a father-daughter relationship. He's there to protect her. He's there to be with her. Boom, cool. The second episode is where we start. So they still on the run. He's been shot. This is off the dome. Y'all wrote a whole 2, 3, 4 pages of notes, and I left them all on my desk. So they on the run, right? They trying to get away from everybody. Still doing the car chase. The car is chasing them, and you know, they did the classic movie, cut them off at the pass, you know, and they get away. So he turns in, he makes it to a school, and then he grabs her and goes to the school bus and is like, okay, telling the teachers, you know, listen, I'm a new dad, I'm a single father, I forgot everything, you know, we supposed to get on the field trip, I didn't know. And so they believe him, which is totally unrealistic. First of all, I'm a teacher. You would never just let no random ass people get on the bus, and you ain't double check, and triple check. You have to have a background check before you can get on the bus. Mama, daddy, whoever. That's totally unrealistic, but we gonna roll with it. They let them get on the school bus. They go on the field trip with the kids. They come back, you know, now the people don't know where they at, and they're good for the most part. So they find another car. I don't know where this car came from, but they got a car, and they were driving. She like, where we going? They going to a house, you know, somebody's friend house. Along with this storyline, they go into the woods. It's set off an alarm, and a black woman comes out. Apparently this woman is somebody that Brad was his teacher, and she tells her that you know, in the military, and she asks him later on, was he an assassin? And he like, no, I'm not an assassin, you know, I served in Afghanistan, you know, he just special ops, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really know what he doing. So this lady is like a hermit. She got like all these guns on the wall. She ready. She battle ready, tested, okay? No, she already knows something is up, what's going on with these people. So I assume at some point he tells her what's going on, and she like, you know, I got a boat for y'all. You can go to Canada, you know, and he's saying he gonna go to Canada, and she like, I got a boat for you, but what you gonna do? Okay, well, you know they gonna come to Canada. Okay, well, we gonna go to Amsterdam. Okay, well, you know they could probably make it to Amsterdam too. So what you always gonna be a target unless you go public with this whole thing. He don't want to do it. She like, listen, I do it. Write the names down on this piece of paper of the 12 people that they have locked up there and they're using to experiment on, and I will go public with the whole thing. The next day, you know, they still have a whole day, I think, where you know, they don't get caught and they still trying to work things out and whatever. But then the guys catch up with them because they see somebody towing the car that they left on the side of the road, and realizing the guy snitched and said it was this girl, so they find out where the lady lived. I think her name was Lacey. By this time, because earlier in the episode, I know I'm jumping around, but I don't have notes, but earlier in the episode, like I said, Brad had got shot. At a certain point, he passed out, and the little girl panicked. Amy panicked. She called his ex-wife on the phone. She just called a number that was in his phone, and so the ex-wife, you know, tells her to punch him in the chest, basically, and wake him up. And she does that, and he wakes up, and they keep going. But Brad knows that because he called the wife's phone that they're going to trace to where they are. He knows that. So he's kind of upset. He throw the phone out the window. They make it to the place, and like I said, the people have found out because the tow truck driver snitched on them. They make it to Lacey's house, and even though Lacey was supposed to be so skilled, child, but they just shot Lacey ass. I said, well, I hope she alive, and they just shot her, and she ain't actually dead. Bitch, you got all these guns, you got shot in like 2 seconds. Okay, Lacey? get it together. And the ex-wife had came out there too, because she pretty much figured that he was out there. So she came out there and she was helping him and everything, and they kissed and talked about the baby and talked about how the girl was so much like the other the daughter that they had, because the girl is a tomboy. You know, when they went to the carnival in the first episode, she was shooting and stuff and she was hitting every mark. So she kind of a tomboyish girl, reminds them a lot of their own daughter. And so, you know, they kind of have a moment and she kissed him or whatever. She knows she missed her husband. Girl, don't stop that girl. It's fine man like that, girl. You better, you better. And he and it was a touching moment because he talked about how, you know, he watched her get so upset. He watched her feel bad, and you know, he watched her go through all the things you go through with grief, and he couldn't do nothing about it, and the daughter died. I don't know if the daughter had cancer. I don't know what was wrong with the daughter exactly, but it sounded like she had some type of disease, because if you can't do nothing about it, then... But then later on, he does mention that he tried to be a whistleblower with something else, and that didn't go well for him. So maybe it's something else too, his daughter dying, that we don't know about. So they find out where it is. They come to the house. They shoot up the house. They kill Lacey. And at the end of the episode, the little girl comes, or they get Brad out the house, and he got him on his knees like, tell me where he at. The girl and the ex-wife is in the house. They about to leave out the back. But come to find out, the little girl comes out because early in the episode, she said, you don't leave me and I don't leave you. So she comes out and they go on to take him into custody. That's one storyline. Back at the lab, we got these creatures. I forgot to tell y'all in the first episode, are like speaking to the people who work there. They're like mind controlling them. So I think Mr. Fanning, Dr. Fanning, is like the #1 ringleader of all the goddamn vampire shits, okay? He pissed with Jonah, and he wants some type of Jonas, and he wants some type of revenge, okay? So then they have a series of flashbacks that shows us the origin of this. Jonah's wife had Alzheimer's, so he was trying to get something to help her with the Alzheimer's, which I don't understand how blood intravenous diseases and Alzheimer's is a genetic thing, but you know, whatever. Who am I, child? It's not a disease. It's a genetic thing or whatever. He trying to get the cure for this, so this is his motivation for all of this. So he goes to Dr. Fanning when he was like a human, okay? And it seems like Dr. Fanning was kind of trash when he was a human, no tea, no shade. So it lends itself to the way his creature character is now, okay? So anyway, he convinces him to look at this blood sample. They look at the blood sample. He like, we're gonna change the world. We need to, you know, we need to control this. Jonas is like, we need to control this. And, you know, and Dr. Fanning like, look, I'm gonna help you with it, but you need to let me do my thing when it comes to like funding. So, you know, I got like 6 millionaires who fund this shit right now. It got out of hand because eventually the DOD, the Department of Defense, was the highest bidders. He said, we need to go to the people who make the rules so that we can break the rules. So Jonas is sort of against this. It's starting to get out of control. He like, we're not gonna be able to control it. And we see that now, it's pretty much not in his control anymore. I mean, he has somewhat of control over it, but he can't do things without the black woman approval. And so like I said, you know, the doctor, he got bit. So basically these creatures are mind controlling, or it's not mind controlling, but like seeping into the minds of the people who watch them and take care of them, like the custodians and the other doctors that work around in the hospital. And so now that Anthony is there, Anthony is the new criminal, the man on death row, the black guy. He's there. They have injected him with this vaccine because he's younger than everybody else. He like 25, 20, something like that. And he has also been talked to by the Fanning guy. When you go to sleep, it happens when you go to sleep. You have nightmares, they come to you, he tell you just do what you know, they were sitting at the bar and he was like, just drink this. But you know, Fanning was like, I'm not about to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm not doing it, baby. You can't tell me what to do. I'm not doing it. Okay, drink what? For what? Huh? No, I'm not doing this shit. And so Fanning leans in his ear in the dream and tells him to tell Jonas that they have already changed the world. He just needs to wait and see how. So I have a feeling that Anthony's gonna be a linchpin because he have like morals and shit, and he's not inherently evil. If you think about it, the 12 people that's there are all convicts. They're all criminals. They all evil people. Okay, and like I said, Dr. Fanning wasn't exactly the best person in the world. He seemed like sort of an asshole, and they kind of created his character to look like this. It's not too far removed to think that he would be, even not want revenge, but be evil. It could be revenge though for having him in this damn situation in the first place. So who knows? I feel like at some point, these people, these creatures are getting smarter. They're learning how to adapt, and they're gonna be mind controlling the fuck out of these guards and shit. Anthony tells Jonas what's going on, and we can see that Jonas is starting to have a moral problem with this. He don't want to get the girl. The black woman is reassuring him, hey, the girl ain't gonna be wrong with the girl. You know, I'm sorry we got to do this, but this is what we got to do. We trying to save the world. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a disease that's sweeping. Did I tell y'all that? I don't know if I told y'all that, but it's a disease that's sweeping the world, and they trying to come up with the vaccine to hurry up before it gets to America, right? So she like, we got to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have to sacrifice little mama. Ain't nothing gonna happen to her. She gonna be all right, because when we put it in her, she gonna be good. It's not gonna deteriorate her. Jonas is feeling some type of way because through the flashbacks we see that his wife wasn't with this shit. She had Alzheimer's, but she was like, I want you to be here with me. I don't want you to be out there doing that bullshit. And then when she found out about the Department of Defense, she was like, you gonna regret this. Okay, I don't want you to do this. You're going to regret this. And you're trying to fix me, and this disease gonna have its way with me regardless of what you do right now. And I really want you to be at home. So she wasn't down with this. Okay, but you can tell that he kind of got out of his hands a little bit. Anthony asked him one time, is this what you thought you would be doing, using people as guinea pigs? And he says, no, I didn't think I would be doing this. Because like I said, Anthony is very astute. He's very smart. You can see that he is a very intelligent man, because he knows that he's being used for a guinea pig, and he's scared. He's more scared now than he was when he was in prison. Jonas is having some issues with doing this, and he kind of could feel, you know, something ain't right. Okay, something is not right, and especially when Anthony tells him in the same, or no, it's a different scene. But Anthony tell him he feel great. He feel like he can run 1,000 miles, and he feels so good. Because like I said, you feel good at first, then you start deteriorating. So he telling him how good he feel, but then he starts telling him he having dreams, and he starts telling him that, you know, he's Mr. Fanning was talking to him, telling him don't trust you, telling him that, you know, y'all changed the world, you just gotta wait and see how, and you know, I think he remembers at the very beginning of the first episode, one of the other doctors was like, you know, he talked to me in my sleep. You know, he comes to me. And then when Jonas was sleeping with the black one, we find out he's sleeping with the black doctor. He in the bed sleep, and one of the girls that's you know, one of the people that's locked up, she was a killer too. She killed like a whole family or some shit. She came to him in his dream talking about, do you think about me and all of this shit. So I feel like they have this mind control thing that's going to be going on with these creatures and shit. Like, they're smart, and Fanning is the leader. Anthony is resistant for right now, but I don't know how long that's going to last. That's that whole storyline. We also see that the creatures are getting more and more aggressive because they have 2 custodians who are, you know, one of the custodians don't want to fuck with them people, okay? He don't want food with them. He won't come in there. He won't do his job. He noticed that things are staring at him, and he like, and he telling the other guy, don't be looking at her. Don't be staring at her and shit. Don't do that. And the other guy's like, mind your business. You deal with him. I'm gonna deal with this one, okay? And so later on that night, he messing with the thing, and he trying to get the dude to mess with her too. And the dude dropped something in there. I couldn't see exactly what it was, but he stick his hand in there real quick and he get it out. And then the other guy, you know, does something. He messing with the thing, and the thing just come out. The girl just snatch his face child and just bite his damn neck off. I said, well, that's what your ass get playing with shit at the zoo. You don't do that. You don't feed the animals at the zoo, baby. They will eat your ass up. So he got ate up. So these things are getting more aggressive, and now we got a whole nother damn creature on our hands. I hope he dead. I hope she didn't bite him and he lived. I hope he dead, but it looked like they had ate Dr. Fanning ass up too, and he lived. So we'll see what happens with that thing, okay? Overall, it's moving kind of fast, but it's a good show. The little girl actress is really good. Not get into it, but I feel like it's gonna take a turn, because these things gonna be some Walking Dead shits. They gonna be some vampire zombie type motherfucker, because they finna go give this vaccine to this girl, and what's gonna happen to her is what I'm worried about. Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty good show from what I can see. I don't think it's anything I left out, but I could have left out something, y'all. I wrote like 4 freaking pages of notes. I'm so pissed about that. I left them all at work. But yeah, so that was the show. So I want to hear what you guys think about it. Y'all check it out. Like I said, it comes on Fox Network. It comes on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Not into zombies like that, but it looks pretty good with the science fiction element to it, and end of the world apocalypse, you know, type of situation. Because I have a good feeling that these things is gonna get out them cages, okay, and start eating goddamn people up and turning people into vampire zombies. And this little girl gonna have to help. You know, it's gonna have to help save the world or whatever the case may be. But I don't know, child. It looked like it's a pretty good show to me. So I'm going to hang with it for a little while. Unless it get boring or bogged down, I think I'm going to hang with it. So if you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. Yeah, just let me know whatever you think about this show. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.